a growing health, wellness, and leadership podcast designed for you to become your most empowered self.
Great day, amazing humans. Welcome to the Empowered in My Skin podcast, where our mission is to help 1 billion people in this world think in more empowering ways. Empowered humans empower humans. So you are the right spot to become a lead domino for empowerment today. So let the show begin. Great day, amazing humans. Yes, welcome to the next episode of Empowered in My Skin. And this is going to be potentially, I never ever figured it out actually. So I know the last time I was like, this might be my first solo episode. Well, this is going to be my third kind of solo episode. And so we had our first ever, I think in 6 seasons, no show. And so I have to do something because this is an episode that needs to air this week. And so transparently, I am recording this on the Sunday and it's airing this Thursday. So I have to, as a woman with many hats, I have to do all of my editing on Sunday to make sure that it's ready for the week and so that others on the team can do what they need to do to get the show out and available for all of you enjoying listening and visual pleasures. So today, working with my executive, and this is what we do on Empowered My Skin. I truly do believe that very empowered humans adapt quickly. I heard it yesterday. A great friend of mine talked about the adaptability quotient. And it's the ability to not get caught up about, it was just a no-show. It's not a big deal. We have, we just put our minds together immediately to figure out how do we move next? Because I have no idea. I hope that the guest is actually okay. I've reached out. And first and foremost, I don't take it personal. And so I think that helps to keep you in an empowered spirit. So that's maybe the first tip today is a good way to stay empowered is to not take things so personally, and to recognize that you have the ability always to adapt and to pivot and to be creative and to sometimes also get still, or lean in, reach out for help. The first thing I thought to do was call my amazing executive producer, Trisha Blake. And she is the queen of creativity on the spot. And we came up with this brilliant idea, which is, to reuse content because we have a lot of content. We have 6 seasons of content. And that quickly led me to realize what was some commonality. We were thinking about taking an episode thematically. And then I was like, you know what? I've never actually done this. And it is a question I ask on every episode. And if you are an avid viewer or listener of Empowered My Skin, you might know what that question is. But I have asked every guest, with the exception of on our series, like our series episodes, but we haven't had too many of those comparative to the 300 episodes that we've done. 300 plus, I'm going to say, because I think this is now this is episode 303. So 300 plus, I could say plus now. I have asked every guest pretty much. Now I'm being like, okay, now I'm really thinking about it. This podcast started as Own. You may not know this. We're going to go a little bit on a journey here. This podcast started as Own Your Thrive, and then it changed to Empowered in My Skin, the podcast. And when it changed to that, I started to ask every guest the question, what does Empowered in My Skin mean to you? So I might have been doing that since season 2. So it's a lot of amazing humans answering that same question in their skin. Right? Because that's the one thing that nobody can wear my skin. I can't wear your skin. And I'm just going to tackle something that I've also found very interesting is that depending on I'm going to say race of the guest. Yeah. I know initially that question perplexed some people. But yes, we all have skin, all of us, irrespective of the shade of the skin. We all have skin, and it is the largest organism on our body, I believe, that we all possess. And so I've asked that question. And so this episode is picking a few guests from season 6 whom And I will tell you, in the interest of time, I have figured out a method to randomly select some guests that that answered this question, and in ways that I absolutely loved and have has stayed with me. So, and then I will also answer this question for you. So let's take a moment to hear back from some of our guests and how they answered this question. Okay. So you see how everyone sees that question so differently for themselves. And that is ultimately what this podcast was all about. That's actually what this company, this organization was all about. And so, for a little bit of backstory on that, I founded Empowered in My Skin in 2014. I incorporated it in large part because of my sister friend, Natalie Thompson, who really encouraged me to brand it and that it was truly a movement. Um, and that she believed that I could make this my life mission, which was to help more and more humans in this world. 1 billion is the number I selected, to think in ways that are empowering, because I truly do believe that empower people. And it is a lead domino effect, and that's how you create sustainable change in this world. Because if through me you are not feeling empowered, then guess what? That domino stops. There's no effect of my life on you in a way that continues to help you move forward, right? So when you think about a stack of dominoes and you start with that lead domino, it starts to, turn down all the dominoes that precede it. And and that's what it means to be a lead domino, is that the way that you think, the way that you move, the actions, the language that you use, all have the ability to empower that next human in a way that propels them and moves them forward, So that came to be through work. I had been doing the work, started with a book called A Return to Love. And when I got to this point where I was feeling extremely light in life, I realized, via my name, Nkechinyera, that it means God's gift, that I was a gift. And if I started to think about, like, how can I use that to serve more purposefully in this world? Well, I'm like, okay, well, I shouldn't be a gift due to certain circumstances. I should be a gift, period, in every circumstance. And that meant that every situation, every conversation, every email, text message, phone call, voicemail, physical interaction, virtual interaction, I should be a gift to that interaction. But here's the thing: just because it's my name and the meaning of my name doesn't mean that that's just reserved for me. And so, Empowered My Skin was really informed because I truly did believe that I wanted to create this movement of humans empowering humans. There's a great quote that says, "Empowered humans, empowered humans." And I want to see that quote really come to life in this world. And so that is that's how Empowered My Skin came to be. And then truly what it means to me, because I think it all starts from within. And I think that my level of empowerment has certainly evolved and continues to evolve. For example, I was at an event yesterday, the BFAN Wills Women in Leadership event, their 7th annual event, and I was the host. And truthfully, as I record this episode, I know that through that event and on the other side of it, I'm even more empowered than I was before I started that event. And it's less about, like, how I performed and, how I felt I did, but more about the energy that I saw reflected back to me, the hugs, the posts, where humans that were there are expressing how meaningful and valuable that event was. And as the host of the event, that was my responsibility, was to take all of the work that the amazing organizers had did, the hours and hours and hours of meaningful moments to curate that event and to build an agenda that would help those that attended the event be inspired and motivated. The theme was about rest. So recharge, elevate, strategize, and thrive, and really understanding those components in their lives and how they can, really amplify rest in their lives more so. And it was for me to execute all of that work in a way that brought it all together. And I'm going to say landed the plane for them. I did. I did that thing. And I did that thing. And, especially as women, we often don't, that's an accomplishment. And that gets to go on my accomplishment board. And what enabled me to do that is the level of empowerment that I felt in the skin that I'm in. I wasn't trying to be somebody else. I wasn't trying to, definitely nothing to pretend, protect, hide, or defend yesterday as I took to that stage and that microphone, but just an openness to embrace the experience and be as much of me that I could be, that the event required, in order for those that were in my care to be connected to the experience in a meaningful and transcending way. And that's really what it is like I had to be and I mean this, like, I'm going to explain what I mean, but the most powerful person in the room by not having anything to protect, to pretend, to hide, or to defend. You get what I'm saying? And the ability to do that and more do it through more experiences, dynamic experiences, diverse experiences, leaves me every single time marveling at how empowered we can be as humans, And yeah, so I'm doing the work to be more empowered in my skin. And I have, I think I have a North Star on that, which I'm going to try and see if I can express in a way. Because it's funny, as much as I ask this question to my guests, I never really asked myself what it means to be empowered in my skin. But there's a great I am, and I think I've shared it on this. I know I've shared it on this podcast before. It's by Michael Singer. Close my eyes as I say it. And it says, I am the one who sees. And from in here somewhere, meaning within me somewhere, I am the one that looks out. And I'm aware of the events, the thoughts, and the emotions that are passing before me. When I think about that, it gives me just such hope for the level of expression and the heights that I can achieve as a human being in this world. Because it's not about the accolades. It's not about, it makes me emotional now. Why am I getting emotional? It's not about the accolades. It's not about the things I'm going to do. It's not about the things I'm going to achieve. It's not about that. It's really this ability to become who God truly designed me to be. And I believe that God has destiny, purpose on everybody. I believe that God has equipped us to blow his mind, blow God's mind. Really, truly, I think he's made it possible for it to blow his mind. I think there's a path, and in stillness, we get direction. We're guided constantly. And end with everything that we know about this world and what's possible, and we see humans accomplish it all the time. And I believe the opportunity to blow and knock out of the park what our lives were, what our unique and individual lives were designed for, is possible for each and every one of us. And And to me, that's being empowered in my skin is being free to that opportunity every single day, because I don't know what the end is, but I know that today, on this day, I have the ability to achieve my highest potential and the highest expression of what it means to be a human being. And I see that in that I am statement, that I am that aware and present of the life and the events and the experiences and the emotions that are passing before me. And I'm watching how I'm responding and interacting and navigating them. And I have that level of power, of empowerment to make it as meaningful as it can be. That's what it means to me to be empowered in my skin. Woo! Who knew that this was going to be the episode that I needed to have? I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I hope that you, maybe this day when you're listening to this, that you take out your journal or your digital notebook, or you send a message to back to me. I'd love if you sent it to me. If you know me personally, text me. If you're on my IG, send it in my DM on LinkedIn. If you're listening to this, put it into a message or respond to the post itself. But what does empowered in my skin mean to you? Because I do want to see 1 billion people in this world live from their most empowered self and achieve their highest expression of themselves as a human being in this lifetime that they have. So it is your girl. I know some of you listening to this. I don't know everyone that's listening to this, obviously. But this is, I have enough grace and grace for days to tell you that I love you and I love you unconditionally. And I do this and this work on this podcast in this organization because of that love. So it is your girl. I thank you for listening. And yeah, just continue to be great. It's your girl, I'm out. There you have it. I trust that you're feeling more empowered in your skin. And as the late Dr. Maya Angelou says, when you get, you give, when you learn, you teach. So it would mean so much for us at EIMS if you share this episode and tag us or teach an insight that you learned from today's episode on your socials and tag us. And remember to go over onto iTunes and leave us a review or follow us on socials at Empowered in My Skin. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.